boys. Oh, you go. Hold on, ever. Seize the moment.
It's a chilly night in Northern California as we welcome you to the Progressive Monday Night Kickoff. Broadcast booth, I'm Joe Buck. That's the Hall of Famer Troy Aikman. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. There's no place that he and I would rather be than sitting right here getting ready to watch the game that's going to unfold before us right on that field tonight. I know it's Christmas, but we're going to see a bare-knuckle fight down there between two of the very best in the NFL. And for San Francisco, Brock Purdy is on a heater. He's been unbelievable during this 6-game winning streak.
Yeah, and he's the big reason why this team's been able to do what they've done. And I'm not sure exactly that he was healthy during that 3-game losing streak. But, man, coming off of that bye, he's played better than any quarterback in all of football, and it's why he's in the league MVP race. But these two teams, it's a lot of fun. I mean, you can argue that they're the two most physical teams in all of football. They're very well coached. They got star power on both sides of the ball. Both come in playing with a lot of confidence. This is going to be unbelievable tonight.
In fact, John Harbaugh said maybe we should expect a physical type game between two head coaches who are sons of football coaches. And for the Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson. I mean, he's already been an MVP, won it in his second season. He's in the conversation again, and boy, do they ask him to do a lot, and boy, does he do a lot.
Yeah, I don't think there's a quarterback in the game that is asked to do more than what Lamar Jackson does, and yet he comes into this season a little bit of a different look offensively with Todd Monken coming in, and the expectation was that they were going to throw the ball a lot more. Maybe that would sacrifice
passes and yards per pass attempt. But Purdy has made the case that his teammate Christian McCaffrey is more deserving of MVP honors. McCaffrey leads the league in total yards from scrimmage and has been a scoring machine this season with 20 total touchdowns. Purdy said Christian has done everything for us. He sets the tone on offense. And then there's the guy who already has MVP on his resume. Lamar Jackson catapulted himself into the conversation after his Week 15 performance against the Jaguars, making Houdini-like plays again and again, like he has in each of the last 4 seasons. Jackson is leading the Ravens in both passing and rushing, but when I asked him about the possibility of a second MVP, Lamar said he's not thinking of awards right now, just getting a win tonight. Any one of these guys, Joe, would be reason enough to watch, but all 3 in one game, Merry Christmas to us.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Lisa. Thank you. Well, the stage is set. Neither team can clinch a #1 seed tonight, but the winner of this game would clinch a #1 seed in their conference for the win next week also. A lot on the line as the offensive coordinator in Atlanta and as head coach of the 49ers back in 2019. And then John Harbaugh, third longest tenured head coach active in the National Football League, season number 16. And he's made the playoffs now 11 times over those 16 seasons, trying to lock down the #1 seed for the second time in franchise history. Tylan Wallace will return it for the Ravens. Gets hit inside the 20. Breaking tackles. And out of bounds near the 30. It's a nice return of 25 yards. Chris Conley missed a tackle, and that means Lamar Jackson and company, they set up with the ball near their 30. We'll see exactly where they put it down. That's where it'll be. And there are the numbers this season. And he does a little bit of everything. And as you said in the open, Troy, he has improved, and they have improved under Todd Monken, their first-year offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I really think Todd Monken has done an excellent job of putting this offense together and really getting more out of the passing game than what they had been in prior years. And Lamar Jackson, he has responded to that really well. He's playing some of the best football of his career.
They fake the throw and hand off to Justice Hill. And Hill gets a couple brought down by Fred Warner, who's as good as it gets at the linebacker level for the 49ers. You see Gus Edwards. He and Justice Hill will get the largest portion of the carries, especially with the injury to Keaton Mitchell, their rookie and a college free agent undrafted who tore his ACL in last week's win at Jacksonville. There's their center Tyler Linderbaum first-round pick from a year ago, as Jackson sets up and slings it. Incomplete for Bateman. It'll be third down as Ambry Thomas broke it up. And this defense, coordinated by Steve Wilks, number 9 overall with regard to yards per game, but you don't score a lot of points against Steve's guys.
No, and we talk about what they were able to do coming out of the bye offensively. Defensively with Steve Wilks, they changed a few things up. They disguised coverages a little bit more. Coming off a tough game against Arizona last week when they gave up over 230 yards rushing. We'll see how they hold up tonight.
Third down and 8. Jackson protected. Passes out of the reach of Aguilar, and it's 3 and out for the Ravens to start the night.
Well, you come into a game like this as a quarterback, and things are happening pretty fast with this pass rush and seeing things. And they had an opportunity there on second down. They failed to complete that one. And then here on third down, Lamar's got an open receiver. He's just a little inaccurate with the throw.
So we'll get the punt from Jordan Stout with Ronnie Bell waiting deep. They are still missing their return man Ray McLeod, who's on IR with a rib injury. They miss him. Last week Bell put it on the ground but was ruled down by contact in that win over the Cardinals. Good punt. Fair catch. Hauled in near the 12. It's a 55-yard punt. And you and I, Troy Aikman, have worked together long enough for me to know that when you see a young quarterback that's doing things like Brock Purdy is doing things, it's got your attention and you've become a big fan.
Yeah, I don't know that I could be a bigger fan of his than what I am. One, I like what they do offensively, and I have since Kyle Shanahan became the head coach 7 years ago. But watching Brock Purdy execute the game plan and getting through his progressions and knowing exactly where to go with the football, he's playing with a lot of confidence right now. Systems quarterback, I don't buy it, and neither.
That's McCaffrey in motion. He's going to get it out on the edge. And the outstanding second-year safety, Kyle Hamilton, is out there to make the tackle after a gain of 3. Kyle Shanahan has this lineup with the backs, the receivers. They've got talent everywhere you look. And an offensive line that is anchored by Jake Brendel in the middle. And they've got all-world left tackle Trent Williams healthy and ready to go. And well, he's as good as it gets on the edge.
He sure is here in his 14th year. He's still the best left tackle in the game.
Purdy sets up. Use check incomplete. Coverage on the play by Brandon Stevens. The crowd wants a flag. They don't get it. 3rd and 7.
Well, it looked from here. We'll take a look at it, but it did look from here that there was contact prior to the ball arriving. Yeah, there sure was. You see Brandon Stevens, who's played really well at corner. He's coming through his back on the way to try to make a play on the ball.
Crowd sees the replay. They don't like it again. And it's 3rd down and 7. And they get the timeout in just before the play clock expired.
We saw there, Joe, lining up on 3rd down. Marlon Humphrey lined up in the slot on Brandon Ayuk, and that's a new position for him this year. He's only taken three snaps in the slot. He's typically plays outside wide. That's a little bit of a different wrinkle for them defensively, seeing if maybe they can get a little bit more speed on the field to match up with these wide receivers, because that would then put Ronald Darby, the veteran corner, on the outside where he can play with a little more speed against this 49ers group as well.
Humphrey's been a good player in his career. 3-time Pro Bowl corner. He was an All-Pro in 2019 when the Ravens were the #1 seed but got bounced in the divisional round. In all these teams now, you start seeing defenses trying to figure out how to defend the slot receiver, and it's Humphrey again inside. Across from Kittle on 3rd down and 7. Purdy, Kittle, first down plus, there he goes. Kittle getting a block. And down inside the missed the tackle, and good blocking from Ayuk downfield. And a completion of 58 yards, and Purdy says, let's keep it going.
Well, you see they go trips to the field. Number 32, Marcus Williams. He's the one manned up on George Kittle. And as he releases, it looked like Williams got just, you see him step to the outside just enough that allowed Kittle then to work the middle and get a couple steps on him. And then he was off and running.
Kittle's having a career year in some ways, averaging just under 16 yards a catch. That was 58. Purdy. Kittle again with a sliding catch at the 15. Another first down for the 49ers. 13 yards on first down.
Boy, there's just a lot of open field right there for George Kittle. There was on the third down play, and you're going to see the middle of the field here as it opens up for George Kittle. You got the linebackers. They go high-low there in the middle linebacker. He takes the underneath route, opens it up behind it for Kittle, and there's nobody around him.
Inside the red zone already, and the 49ers have scored touchdowns last 10 times. They've taken the ball inside the 20. Purdy. End zone is picked. Intercepted by Hamilton. And a takeaway, exactly what the Ravens needed, and this kid Hamilton is a star. And that presence on this Christmas, a big takeaway, his third pick of the year.
Well, just a great job by Kyle Hamilton. Brock Purdy checks it initially, but then gets his eyes off him, and he breaks on it for the interception.
Plays all over. He can play the slot. He rushes the passer, plays deep safety. He's playing through a sprained MCL. He's tough, he's good, and he comes up with a big pick.
Not a lot not to like.
And for Purdy, first time he's thrown an interception on the opening possession in his young career, making his 20th start tonight. As Edwards gets the handoff and picks up 5. Let's go back to the pick.
Yeah, here's Deebo Samuel. He's going to take the middle. You got 2 safeties deep. And when Purdy gets the ball, he's going to check the 2 receiver side to his right. And when he does that, he's a little late then getting to the middle here. And it leads Deebo then to where Kyle Hamilton is, and he makes a play. Had Purdy have been reading that as his first read, it's a touchdown because he throws it as soon as he clears the backers. But because it was his third read in the progression, he didn't account for Hamilton. He makes a nice play on the ball.
Little play action from Lamar. Great protection. And over the middle, Flowers was wide open, but the throw was behind him. As Zay, the rookie, the outstanding rookie, and Lamar couldn't connect. 3rd down and 5.
Well, the protection up front is outstanding, and this is where Lamar Jackson has really been dangerous this year. When he's had time in the pocket, he's worked the middle of the field, and Zay Flowers, all of these receivers do it. You see where his route was, and then he sees his quarterback's in trouble. He gets in his vision, and we haven't seen Lamar miss many of those this year when a guy's been wide open over the middle of the ball.
Jackson has started 0 for 3. There's his first of the night, and it's Flowers for the first down with Thomas in coverage. A gain of 7 and a fresh set of downs for Baltimore.
Boy, we talk about this wide receiving core coming into this year, and that was a point of emphasis by John Harbaugh and, of course, their general manager, Eric DaCosta, and they addressed it, and they hit on Zay Flowers.
Jackson is going into the end zone, and I think Jackson slipped over the umpire. They're going to throw a flag for grounding. There's a lot going on. Chase Young got pressure. Bosa was back there. Warner was there as well. And then Jackson tripped over the umpire.
Intentional grounding. Offense number 8. The foul occurred in the end zone. It's a safety.
Well, the umpire's back there with Vinovich. And he's trying to get out of the way. That's Alex Moore. And because the foul for intentional grounding happens in the end zone, it's a safety in the first points of the night.
Well, they dial up a blitz. Fred Warner, he's got a free run. There's the official going down. And it was just Keystone Cops at that point. Oh, man.
I mean, look at the face of Alex Moore, like, oh my God, I just fell down.
Yeah.
I mean, John Perry, you can't disappear. I mean, those guys have to be somewhere, and he just happened to lose his footing.
Yeah, we call it the all-29. You call it the all-22. We include the 7 guys that are out there, and sadly, he got backpedaling late and just couldn't escape it.
You know, we can laugh. No one on that Ravens sideline's laughing.
No,
though.
nobody on that sideline is laughing. Either is the umpire, by the way.
Well, I don't know what he was supposed to do. Trying to get out of Lamar Jackson's way. I mean,
yeah, good luck with that.
So that at least slowed Lamar Jackson down enough where then he went down.
He's kind of laughing. He's like, oh, my family at home.
Yeah, Merry Christmas.
So the free kick now from the Ravens, and the 49ers will get the ball right back, so they don't get the touchdown, but they get the safety as that intentional grounding call and foul happened in the end zone. And Stout gives it a boot, with Ronnie Bell taking it in and dropping it at the 20. There's a little bit of room in front of Bell on top of that. And back on offense go the 49ers, and the $870,000 man, Brock Purdy, who is making the minimum, even though he is right there at the top of the list in the MVP race.
Yeah, and you look at that first possession and what San Francisco did. They didn't even run the football. And, of course, both these teams are built around being able to run the ball. They both do it exceptionally well. But can't argue with what Brock Purdy was able to do throwing the football with some of the open guys that he had, short of the interception there in the red zone.
They mark the ball out at the 21. That's where the 49ers have it, and they do carry it with McCaffrey, and he's got a nice hole over the left side and a first down, spinning to the 35 for 14 yards. McCaffrey is the league's leading rusher, and he came into the week tied for touchdowns as well with 20 on the season.
Well, you watch that trio right there, 2 tight ends and then Brandon Ayuk, and the job that they do in securing the edge and then getting up to the second level. And throughout this game, you're going to see guys like Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk and even Christian McCaffrey, when he doesn't have the ball, the unselfishness that they play with in getting up to the second and third levels for whoever does have the ball and helping them block.
McCaffrey, another nice pickup up to the 40, got 5 and got a good block from Charlie Warner, the big tight end, 6'5", 241.
You know, this offense for San Francisco, so many times on the offensive side of the ball, you find that you're basically reacting to what the defense does. But with Kyle Shanahan and what they do offensively in San Francisco, they are dictating terms more times than not. And this is a defense that is not accustomed to that. And I know in talking with Mike McDonald, he's hoping to have some different looks so that he can be aggressive and initiate some of the things that he wants to do.
Purdy, Ayuk, first down San Francisco as he works in front of the corner Brandon Stevens for 18.
Well, Brandon Ayuk, we've been watching him since he came into the league, and where he was as a rookie in 2020 and where he is now is night and day. He's as good as any receiver in football running routes, and the confidence that Brock Purdy has in turning it loose and knowing that Ayuk is going to be where he expects him to be, it's fun to watch.
First down at the 42. They fake it to McCaffrey, and now Purdy floating it for Kittle, who can't make the catch. Defended by Marcus Williams, and it's 2nd and 10.
We've seen matchup there with Marcus Williams on George Kittle. We saw it earlier on that opening possession. This was one I was a little surprised Purdy was even trying to throw this one, because Marcus Williams was in a great position, but yet he dropped it in there perfectly, and Kittle had a chance. He had his hands on it.
Second down.
What's up?
McCaffrey just dragged down. Tackle made by Matabike, who's had a great year, especially rushing the passer as we look at the 49ers offense this season through week 15. You've got a quarterback who leads the league in yards per attempt, a wide receiver who leads the league in yards per catch. You've got Debo, who's been doing this forever, yards after the catch, leading all wide receivers, and Kittle leads all tight ends in yardage per reception.
Well, I mean, basically 9.9. We're talking 10 yards per pass attempt. I mean, that I don't know if people at home realize how good that is, but those are crazy numbers.
Here's McCaffrey, and he is short of first down yardage by a yard, and a decision for Kyle Shanahan. And the decision is he's going to go.
Yeah, I think running it there on third down tells you that he had every intention of going for it here on fourth.
By league standards, they don't go for it a ton. 5 for 8. Fourth down in a full yard.
What's up?
Purdy keeps, avoids pressure, and now a sack. Marlon Humphrey, but a flag is down in the secondary. And this is going to be against Baltimore and an automatic first down.
Holding. Defense number 28. 5-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Ronald Darby is guilty of the hold as the defense up front made the play. The secondary couldn't hold up.
Yeah, that's Willie Snead, who was brought up off the practice squad, and he does get a hold of him. He had nothing to do with the play. The ball was going elsewhere, and they read it so perfectly too. But you see the hands around the waist. He's grabbing the right arm. A lot of contact there down the field. I think that was the right call. But over here, they're trying to block the edge with Ayuk, get McCaffrey out to the flat. The Ravens read it beautifully, but they get the penalty and now a new set of downs.
Toss to Samuel, and Debo, who's got 5 rushing touchdowns on the season. So scuffle breaks out. Ayuk was in there for San Francisco. A gain of 2 for Samuel over the right side. The Ravens defensive coordinator is Mike McDonald. In year number 2, he was with the Ravens, then went to Michigan, was the coordinator for Jim Harbaugh, came back to the NFL as the coordinator for John Harbaugh, and he is a rising head coaching candidate in this league.
He had big shoes to fill for Wink Martindale, but he's done an excellent job.
2nd and 8. This ball is batted down. Jadeveon Clowney got his hand on it to bring up 3rd down and 8. As number 24 has had a bit of a resurgence this season with 7.5 sacks. Got his hand up and in the way.
Does a good job knowing he's not going to be able to get home, getting his hands up. But this Ravens defense, I mean, they just come at you with so many different guys. They lead the NFL coming into this game with 50 sacks. And Justin Matabike, he leads the team with 12. But when you start looking at it, there's a whole lot of guys on this defense that have sacks that have contributed to that total. You got McCaffrey now down here at the bottom, and he's just going in motion.
3rd down and 8. And this is low in McCaffrey's direction with Kyle Hamilton out there all over McCaffrey, and it brings up 4th down. The field goal unit comes on for the 49ers.
Well, and I know they didn't get into the red zone. You take a look at the job that Baltimore does, but this is a San Francisco offense that, boy, when they get down to near this end of the field, they typically cash in. So Baltimore, they ended the first possession with the interception, and now they come back after the penalty and a new set of downs, do a good job stopping them.
45-yard try. Field goal is drilled by the rookie Jake Moody Now 19 down by 5 at their own 25. Don't miss the college football playoff semifinals New Year's Day on ESPN and the ESPN app. Michigan takes on Alabama at 5 Eastern. Then it's Washington and Texas at 8:45. Winners will play Monday, January 8th for the national championship on ESPN. All right, let's see what the Ravens can do with possession number 3. Jackson out to his right, has Flowers. Flowers had to adjust and makes that catch. Refuses to go down, and the rookie has 13 more yards. You could say somebody like Flowers is an emerging star, or you might just call him a star. He is a good player in this first year for the Ravens.
Yeah, he is really giving this offense something that they didn't have. Is you look at his credentials, and you know, when you talk about him in space and some of the things that he's able to do in order to create separation, he has elite short space quickness, and you don't see guys do some of the things that he's capable of doing.
There he is again, trying to make moves, and there was nowhere to go. A loss on the play as Gibson was out there not alone. A loss of 2.
Well, you look at this right now from Baltimore's standpoint, and you know they like San Francisco are saying, hey, we're going to run the ball, or excuse me, we're going to throw the ball, and they have not run the ball but a couple of times. Get the ball out quick. And you know, what's San Francisco going to do? They play a lot of coverage. They're usually able to play the run, but when they went through that 3-game stretch where they were struggling, those 3 teams had success on the ground, and I think ultimately that's where it's going to be for Baltimore as well.
2nd down and 12. Jackson, pretty good protection, and takes off. First time, gets a block out on the edge, and a nice pickup on 2nd down and 12. As Lamar gets 9 and got a good block from his emerging tight end Isaiah Likely.
You know, some of his best runs, Lamar Jackson's this year, have not so much been on scrambles as much as they've been on some of the designed runs with the read options and then the keepers. But yeah, he's still a threat, of course, when he gets outside the pocket. We saw him do some amazing things last week in that win against Jacksonville. He'll keep a defensive coordinator up all week.
Threw for 171 and ran for 97 in that game. 3rd down and 3. Good protection, floated downfield, and a flag for interference. That's Gibson who banged into Isaiah Likely, and the flags flew.